Hello everyone and welcome back to The Lost Crown. So, at the end of the last episode, a crate arrived for Nigel Danvers from Haddon Corporation. I assume it's Haddon Corporation, not just Haddon. You know, I think it's like Umbrella. But anyway, so what is in the crate? It is
These gadgets are a mixed bag. Some seem new, others look retro at best.
it is a disappointing. My dearest Mr. Danvers, how kind of you to phone yesterday evening. It was really quite unexpected. You see, I'm fully aware of what you've seen, what you've stolen, and where you are. Mr. Hare and Mr. Crow are simply dying to catch up with you and retrieve their data, one way or another. For now, you can assist me in my research. It's not often I find myself with such an enthusiastic helper out there in the field. Inside the box you see before you, you will find a selection of goodies and gadgets. Some are experimental and unusual, others are painfully simple. Keep in mind that the gadgets are not all they seem. For example, the clunky looking EMF meter has been significantly upgraded. I think you'll be rather impressed by its sensitivity. So EMF meter, electromagnetic field, I think. The dictaphone has also had a few tweaks, and I've included a plentiful supply of highly sensitive magnetic tapes. Everyone knows those MP3 dictaphones are useless as picking up useless at picking up through EVP recordings. Sometimes it is the traditional old-fashioned methods that work the best, don't you think? Why reinvent? Good luck, Nigel. I look forward to your report. Happy hunting, Mr. Haddon. P.S. Don't think about leaving Saxton. You have work to do, and I hate disappointment. Also, I know where you sleep. So, yeah. So the idea with the EVP recordings is that paranormal shit and ghosts and stuff leave an impression on the magnetic tape, and you can listen to their voices and stuff like that. Day 2. We have the technology! Haddon must have a lot of confidence in me to send that package. Ghost hunting. I guess Harbour Cottage is a great place to start my experiments. It's hiding something. Later, I could do with some help. That Rubens girl, Lucy, doesn't seem so bad. Maybe I'll call her at a bad time. What's her connection with Harbour Cottage? Try to gain access to some local folk knowledge. So that's the museum thingy. Museum closed in the morning. Okay. And the new one is the third. Find some locations to use the ghost hunting gadgets. The town has woken up. Time to chat to more of the locals and gain their trust. And who would send me poison pen letters? I think I must have missed a letter. Oh yes, I have.
That's not right.
With blood on your hands you will come to me. With pain in your heart you will set them free. Okay, so I missed that. I think that was delivered in during the morning. So yeah, sorry about that. Must have missed that. Okay, so what is
What's this?
envirometer? Okay, so view screens, view ghosty, spooky things. Okay, so it's ghost cameras. And here we have the.
That's not right.
Oh, that's not right.
An electronic EMF meter. An analog dictaphone, voice activated. A digital camera with motion sensor. A camcorder with night vision. That's not right. An electronic EMF meter.
So the whole idea is that we can hear the EMF meter starts ticking. So that's what needs to be. Okay, so that's just that. So the EMF meter starts kind of crackling and ticking when near something paranormal. And the other thing, of course, is you can also hear a ghost or a disembodied voice say, "Here." So we have taken a picture of some spooky shit.
That's not.
Well, maybe some more spooky shit in this yonder bathtub. Doesn't seem to be anything now. Maybe we can listen to the bathtub.
Nothing. There's something. Perhaps another gadget will help.
Okay, so we need another gadget. Maybe the EMF meter?
That's not right. There's something. Perhaps not.
Maybe the photograph
I already
again?
have a photograph. Well, seem to have run out of gadgets to try, sadly. So no, I don't think that will be an option. We could try the other ghost hunting stuff at the mirror as well. That's not right.
But that's not right.
That's not right.
Okay. The EMF meter in my experience is the one that's used the least. But there we can see a ghostly apparition of a door. So might as well take a photograph of the scary door. And maybe listen to it. So nothing. Let's try listening. Oh, this looks very...
There's something. Perhaps another gadget will help.
There's certainly a... There we can see a man sitting there holding his head in his hands. So let's just check the others. So maybe there's something here that I didn't see the first time. That looks like it could be like a flash of light. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. That's the door. Anything here? I don't think so. Oh well, let's go put these into the photo album. Conveniently, there is a.
This seems like a safe enough place for my evidence.
Indeed.
I have added any new evidence to the collection.
Okay, so here we have the EVP tapes, which currently we have none. And of course, I think in the photo album, yeah, in the photo album we have the photographs arranged by some theme rather than in the um, in the kind of order of having been taken, which I think is a little bit inconvenient, maybe. Okay, so I think it's now that we've actually got something with night vision, it could be a very good moment to go into the caverns for another try.
West by north, 3, and on 1027, rising slowly. Bridlington, east northeast, 1, 11 miles, 1027.
A camcorder with night vision.
Sandusky Light Vessel automatic, northeast.
Okay, so due to the tight focus, we
Some
need
kind
to
of sea monster.
turn around quite a bit if we want to see the whole path. No, still seems to be quite tight. So
Some kind of sea monster.
indeed, does appear to be a sea monster. Is there? Oh, are those?
A wooden plank.
Oh,
Could prove useful. These other planks are far too rotten.
so we found one magically good solid plank. Excellent, excellent. So, we go through here, go through there, and I think, yeah, that's a chasm.
If you stare into the abyss stares back into you.
Right, that's Nietzsche, I want to say.
That's not right. That's not right.
Okay, maybe we need to go a little bit further. Okay, and then we go with the plank idea. Yeah, not to be nasty, but I think the far too precarious. Maybe if we use the plank as a lever. Come now, plank.
Damn. The plank is disintegrated.
The plank has disintegrated after having been used to shove those planks around a little bit, which makes it.
Ancient rock formations. Stalactites. Ancient rock formations. Stalactites.
So there are stalactites and stalagmites, I think. That's the terminology. And one's the one that hangs and one's the one that grows from the ground. Oh, what is that? Looks to be some kind of a hook or something. How very truly fascinating. Okay, so no. There we go. So turn, turn, and into the darkness we go. Oh, well,
The containers are depressingly empty.
the containers
See
indeed.
pictures?
So, ooh, that's a bottle.
Ancient rock formations. Stalactites.
Okay, well I wanted to notice the bottle, but fair enough. Notice the bottle, please.
Any hidden treasures have long since gone.
Oh! I just heard a ghost tell me that here. There's something here. Let's listen to the fire pit.
There's definitely something. I should listen to the recording.
Hmm.
Strange. The EMF dial is providing a sequence.
Okay. Okay, so 2, 5, 1, 3. Okay, 2, 5, 1, 3. Two, 5, 1, 3.
A bottle of ancient booze. I'll pass on this one.
Oh, check the cork at least. Logbook of Captain Walter Spivey. A successful voyage. The spring tides have worked their wonders. Treasures, loot, artifacts littered the... Okay, so... Treasures, loot and artifacts littered the ocean floor. Rich pickings, swords, scabbards, daggers, each one as mysterious as it is beautiful, but still no crown. So they too were looking for the crown. Perhaps it has yet to fall into the depths from those ancient cliffs. Almost believe these treasures come over from Spain and not from under their very noses. Gruel's plan has worked well. I will keep my side of the bargain. Gruel. Gruel's the name of the I don't know if it's the name of the antique shop or the name of the proprietor of the antique shop, but that's kind of there's a connection there. September 19th, 1892. A near miss upon those damn rocks. The pinnacles will take this old ship one dark night, but not while I am captain. I will arrange for young'uns to mark the rocks with lanterns held high. No one in town can see the ship, otherwise they'll know we do not return from Spain. September 24th, 1892. It's time to
I wonder
return.
if this Gruel character has a living descendant.
Gruel the old skinflint, best be ready to part with some gold. Our haul is an impressive one. His old curiosity shop has proved good for distribution, with his clients in London only too happy to pay well for these treasures and never ask questions. Okay, so
What was that sound?
the crew was later on in the story.
Any hidden treasures?
They were betrayed, and there were customs men all over the port, so they stashed the treasure here in at least I think this is then Grindel's Mole. Oh, an oar.
A boating oar.
It is indeed a boating oar. No, just grab it. See? So we can use the hook with the oar.
Symbolic images or ancient graffiti.
Okay, so what we're currently doing is we're just free form swinging on the fucking thing.
Yes, definitely a crown.
Fair enough. So forwards we shall go. Hmm. Okay, so this is the spot with the... Ah, so there's still a location I haven't checked. Here.
Is there anybody there? Am I alone in this place? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Oh, the battery of the camcorder
Show me
jumped
you are
from
here.
34 to 26, then back up.
Are you trapped in this place? Can I help you in some way? There's definitely something. I should listen to the recording.
Okay then.
West by north, 3, 19 miles, 1027, driving slowly. Bridlington, northeast, 1, 11 miles,
That's not right.
1027,
A strange
driving
recording
slowly.
from the Saxton
Standard
Caverns.
light vessel automatic, northeast, 5, 11 miles, 1027,
Okay, so I can hear singing
haunting recording in the Saxton Caverns tidal chamber.
Rising slowly. Greenwich Drive Vessel automatic. North 3. West by north 3. 19 miles. 2027. Rising slowly. Bridlington. Northeast 1. 11 miles. 1027. Rising slowly. Sandusky Light Vessel
You
automatic.
promised me the past flowers.
2027. Rising slowly. Greenwich Drive Vessel automatic. North 3.
Bring me the past flowers.
West by north.
Okay, so bring me a Pask flower. I have no idea what a Pask flower is though. So for that I think we're gonna need some
1.
external assistance.
1027. Rising slowly.
Day 2, a link to the legend. So, who are the ghosts in the cavern? Were they just smugglers? Are there more ghosts? Who was Gruel? What happened to the treasures? Does Saxton still have a curiosity shop or an antique shop? And explore the wide landscape. What lies beyond Saxton? It's a very nice drawing.
Excuse me. Can you help? There. Odd. The artist, Dr. Black, has added a figure to the scene.
So there's someone standing there, but no one up there. Which is, you know, not necessarily anything creepy. Oh. Oh. Well, that's jolly. Okay, so the newspaper clipping, well, the newspaper page talks about how the graveyard, there's people walking past there. How the graveyard,
That's not right. That's not right.
is it not?
That's not right. That's not right. There's definitely something. I should listen to the recording.
Oh. There's someone or two someones there, so let's listen to the recording.
A strange recording from the Saxton Caverns.
You can help us.
Okay, so that's just disembodied voices asking me to help them. Fuck that, I'm going back to town. Just like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I'm going to visit Gruel's Antiques. No, just fucking no. So Gruel's Antiques, and now we can actually go in there. Hmm.
Now, let's try to find a link to Spivey, the smuggler. Symbolic images or ancient graffiti?
Could be both, could be neither. Okay, so that's wrong. That's wrong. Everything about this place is wrong. Gruel Antiques, East Anglia.
I thought Punch and Judy shows had been banned. Hello, Mr. Gruel, I presume? Yes, this is all very amusing, but I'd like to ask you something.
Ain't nothing amusing
Look,
about
could we
this.
forget the ragdoll for a second? Hello, Jemima. Can I speak with Mr. Gruel? Mr. Gruel, I really must insist that you...
Hmm.
What do you know about the Saxton Caverns?
Okay.
Have you heard the legend of the 3 Anglo-Saxon crowns?
Speaking of. Well, that fucking giggling's not right.
Nigel Danvers, and you are...
Hello, Jemima. Do you make syrup?
I'd love to learn more about the town's ghosts. I'll have a look around, if you don't mind.
So that book there, yeah, is clearly something that we want.
I should go somewhere private to study the book.
Okay, well that was easy. Right, so no exit. Oh, there's the exit. Yeah, it's something about the black and white that makes it like even more creepy. Everything is robbed of it.
Blast! The book is stuck fast.
Well, blimey. I suppose we must all get rhymey. So... Bob Tawney, the blacksmith, can presumably get something like that open. Oh, and we must go get food for fucking what's his name? Crichton? Connor? Ah,
A
yes.
piece of chicken and mushroom pie.
Chicken and mushroom pie. How lovely. I do like a good pie. And I do also enjoy a good quiche, or as my friend calls them, lady pizzas. So, how about that? Oh, Karen! It was Karen. Yeah, fucking shove that into your gob. Dickhead. You there,
Right.
you there, man.
That's not right.
Sorry, Mr. Tawny.
Hello again.
Hello, lad.
Could you open this book for me?
Oh, lost the key, have you?
Not exactly. I never had it.
Ah, I see. Leave it with me. I'll see to it this afternoon.
I'll leave you.
See you again.
Yeah, excellent. So, well, we have lost the book for now. So,
I wonder where he is off to.
that I think is a cat. Yes, we can assume that it is indeed a cat, and this is the Celtic Corner.
It's worth a look.
Can I help at all?
No, thanks. I'm just browsing.
Browsing, eh? See anything you liked?
I'll let you know.
The cat.
The ambitious projects you have embarked upon will set you free from those.
Could you help me?
Certainly, anything for you, Nigel.
Ah, news travels fast.
The arrival of a young man in Sexton would not escape me.
I see. Well, I hope I live up to expectation.
Oh, you've already managed that.
I'm Nigel Danvers, and you are...
I'm Rice. Thanks for asking. Rice bread.
Is that Celtic, or Welsh, or something?
Welsh. Well done. Not just a pretty face, you.
Tell me about the photo competition.
Sexton snappers?
Yes, can anyone take part?
If you have a camera and a good eye.
I'll give it my best shot. Any tips?
Keep in mind that I see a lot of Sexton, day by day. So try to snap something a bit more unusual.
Unusual? I can certainly manage that. Know any local ghost stories?
Oh, hundreds. Check the bookshelf, if you haven't already.
I will. Is that your cat?
Aye, meet Mr. Tibbs. He knows a story or two.
Mr. Tibbs.
What do you know about Nanny Noah?
Ha! Old Noah been at you, has she?
Well, I wouldn't say that. She just seems...
Distant? She's a good friend. But even I have to admit that she's away with the fairies. Most of the time.
Thank
you for your
Reese.
time.
No problem, boyo. Anytime.
Okay, so we should check the bookshelf. Unknown Anglia, Visitors from the World Unseen. In 3 volumes with 7 ink illustrations. The Crossroad Haunting. Crossroad ghosts have always featured highly in supernatural compendiums and investigation portfolios. Many believe that murderers, suicides, warlocks and thieves were strung up at such sites or buried alive. So the story is the Ulcombe Lane Phantom, It was a cold spring night in deepest Anglia when Robert Bridge made his way along Olcombe Lane. He was returning home from choir practice at the nearby church when he became aware that he might not be alone in the dusky gloom. Behind him, further down the lane, he sensed another traveller, making their way back to town. Thinking it may be a friend, singing partner, or villager, Robert turned to greet his shadowy pursuer. As he did so, a blackbird flew up from the hedgerow, uttering a shrill alarm call. A pretty young maiden in country dress and bonnet was making her way towards him. Normally, Robert would be happy to join such a lovely on his journey, but something struck him as odd. He could see an eager look in her eyes, could hear the rustling of her skirts, and the quiet hum of a rural tune, uttered from her pursed lips. Yet no sound came from her movement on the dusty lane. Unnerved, Robert slowed his pace, only to notice that the maiden did not appear to come any closer. She still moved at quite a pace, but seemed to follow at the same distance. Coming to a halt, Robert watched the eerie creature glide to within a few yards of him. Staring into his eyes, she removed her pretty bonnet, lifting it high and then towards his hands. He took the item and watched as she moved backwards towards the hedge, and vanished before his very own eyes. Feeling terribly shaken, Robert looked down at the bonnet in his hands. The inside was full of twigs, straw and leaves. It was a blackbird's nest, but in the centre, where bright blue eggs should await, there were 3 shriveled young birds, bald of feather and bulbous of vein. All 3 tiny creatures were dead. Dropping the bonnet, Robert fled back to his home in Saxton, and never walked the Olcombe Lane again. Many other travellers have met the mysterious maiden of Olcombe Lane. In 1875, a visiting young priest, who was fair of face and of kind nature, was approached by a beautiful young meadow girl, holding garlands of poppy, daisy and campion. In her hair she wore pasque. Pasque flower. That's the flower that the ghost in the tidal basin room cave place wanted us to bring. The last publicised appearance of the Olcombe Lane maiden was in May 1901. 2 grave diggers, brothers by the name of Rosset, were busy furrowing into the earth in the upper churchyard when they were distracted by the most peculiar of sounds. A soft, sweet pastoral tune was calling to them from the cliff path. Approaching the uncanny sound, the 2 brothers were rendered speechless by the sight before them. A fair maiden was drifting along the path with no visible means. Nearing the cliff edge, she disappeared completely without trace as the enchanting tune faded away. Okay, so that's the first. Chapter 21. Haunted Farmsteads. The Hunt of the Dead. Midway through the 18th century, a yeoman and his family led the humble life of land farming and animal husbandry. Their small farmstead, Gibb Farm, out on the Northfield Road, was sheltered by the presence of the Saxton Hills, meaning the family avoided the bustle of town life. Many years passed in the life of this unremarkable family, through rain, snow, sun and wind. The yeoman's 2 daughters grew bonny and fair, while his only son turned manly of strength and adventurous in nature. All seemed just so in the household until the eve of Beltane, when something truly extraordinary happened to the simple country folk. Beltane, recognized in antiquity as the beginning or rebirth of the seasonal cycle, is more popularly known as May Day. Although the exact calendar date is hard to place, even in the modernity of 18th century life, the yeoman and his family approached this date as a significant milestone in their yearly labours. Animals were led to sprouting pasture, while seed was scattered into fertile soil. Gathering around the midnight fire to give praise to those who blessed their land, the yeoman and his family were alarmed to hear that a dreadful sound issued from some place beyond the farmstead window. The hideous sound was described to me as like that of a terrified sow about to be gutted and bled. It is believed that many animals, like the pig, can sense their own death at the hand of man. The shrieks and howls were enough to pierce the ear and chill the blood of all who heard them. In horror of what lay beyond the feeble window, the yeoman's family pressed their faces against the icy-cold glass in an attempt to catch a glance of the terrified creature. Beyond the window, a small kitchen garden led to the Northfield Lane. No visible signs were discernible in the pale moonlight, so the family looked even further into the night. Suddenly, and without warning, a terrible pale face, described as sexless, leered up at the window. It issued from its cracked thin lips a terrible agonized howl, before the face dropped out of sight. The terrified farmer gathered his kin and hid them away in nook and cranny, for the yeoman sensed they were all in the most present of danger. The two daughters sought sanctuary under their beds, while the yeoman's brave son became guard of the deep cellar which hid his dear mother. While sheltering in their darkened corners, all members of the family heard the unmistakable sound of a drum beat coming forth from the nearby hills. The beat grew louder and more distinct as the family became even more aware of the horror that may befall them. The yeoman himself, though, thought better to guard the entrance of their humble home. Beyond the oak door he heard scratching and grunting as if wild hogs were attempting to breach their feeble defences. Peering through the keyhole, the yeoman glanced upon the most frightful scene. Black, almost shapeless forms were digging at the ground around the Northfield Road, mere yards from the front door. Stare as he might, the farmer was unable to identify the foul-looking beasts as they dug deeper into the dark earth. As he watched, further dark shapes appeared to grow from beneath the ground, forming vague human shapes which twisted and writhed in apparent agony. Some of the wraith-like creatures seemed to attempt an escape from the unearthly scene, but the grunting, shrieking beasts herded the wretched souls as if they were animals prepared for slaughter. As the drumming became insistent, the yeoman felt he must avert his eyes, for a new sound had joined the ghastly chorus, that of horses' hoofs clattering along the ancient road. Some nightmarish creature had come to collect the souls. With his eyes tight shut, the farmer heard the phantom creature scream in an absolute horror at the figure before them. Wind rattled at the door behind him, and the windows clattered as if torn by storm. Yet the farmer did not open his eyes, for fear that he would join the wretched creatures in the hunter's realm of utter damnation. Suddenly, as quickly as the event had started, silence fell upon the farmstead as the family members gathered at the fire once more. They gave heartfelt thanks to those deities who had offered protection and kept their souls safe from the horrors beyond the door. Many years had passed without further incident when the yeoman was told the past of his humble farmstead. Some decades before his arrival, the Northfield Road at Gib Farm was the scene of many executions of the villainous, damned, and indescribable Saxton. The guilty were hung, drawn, and quartered, and buried in coffinless graves along the road and before the farm, to be dug up by country beasts and stripped of flesh by carrion birds. Few of Saxton's folk would venture to the isolated spot, and none would spend the night on May Day's Eve, for it is well known throughout Anglia that Beltane is the night of the great hunt, when Grimdred himself sought to escort the wretched souls to their place in the underworld's terrible domain. Upon hearing of the farm's horrific connections, the yeoman made the decision that he and his family would enjoy Beltane night by the hospitable fire of Saxton's Bear, as far away from the Northfield Road as their souls would gladly take them. Okay, so what is the third ghost story? And we're actually probably going to leave this after the third one. So The Ghosts of the Sea. And the ghost story is The Failed Invasion. It was a stormy night in Saxton towards the end of the 19th century. A wicked and destructive wind had blown across the North Sea, bringing with it the howls and whispers of 1,000 Norse warriors. Saxton's past was rich, but secretive by nature, with some believing that only the most formidable of storms would shake these secrets from the ancient stones and timbers. Window shutters were sealed, and the doors of Saxton were bolted. The buildings of the town clung to the hillside like limp untidal rocks. No one would venture into the storm, no one except Walter Spivey, who feared for his ship, the Venture. Like all good captains, Spivey was very close to his vessel and knew the oncoming storm could take her from him. Tethering the boat with all the rope of Saxton, Spivey settled himself in the caverns of Saxton shore. Shielding his eyes from the biting rain, Spivey was astonished to see a boat on the churning seas. Thrown by gigantic waves, the ship was approaching the rocks of Saxton at a frightening speed. Spivey was quick in his thought and realized that the lighthouse must not be lit. Why else would these fools be in such a haste to meet with Saxton's lethal stones? Dashing through the waves, rain and gales, Spivey enlisted help from the bear's comfy moor. The next moments are recounted in a local verse. 6 men dwelt inside the bear, so 6 men ventured out, up the lane in whispered prayer, to the wayward ship thrown all about. Damn this storm, send it back to hell, let us light the light and ring the bell. Go forth, for we have souls to save, lift them from their watery grave. As Spivey and his brave companions made their way up to the lighthouse, which was perched on Saxton's coastal road, he was able to make out some details of the vessel, enough to form a rude impression. It appeared to be of antique manufacture, boasting little in the way of tenacity or fortitude, tossed upon the North Sea like a child's plaything or a leaf in a brook. Spivey feared all souls would be lost, shredded on the rocks which sprinkled the town. Descending to the small lighthouse, Spivey struck a powerful light. Lighting the light to the welcoming cowl, the lighthouse burst into action. A strong, steady flame issued from within to warn the oncoming ship. To their horror, Spivey and his party watched as the light was quickly snuffed. A sharp and devious wind had crept underneath the cowl. As his fellow seamen called for action, Spivey lit the lamp once more. Once again the light grew strong and withered before their very eyes. Something unearthly was occurring in Saxton's lighthouse. With leaden hearts the desperate party watched as the stricken ship entered the treacherous bay, waiting for the first blood-curdling sound of timber upon the rocks. The wind became so strong the party could barely stand, as rain lashed against the coast, as if trying to wash the town clean away. Within a blink the ship was suddenly gone from view, as if it were never there. Spivey looked on, amazed at the empty churning sea below them. Returning to the bear, Walter Spivey told his tale to those who dwelt within. All were quiet as the tale unfolded, as they pondered the strange event. A local man stepped forward to offer some explanation. It was known to him that in the 16th century a ship left Spain to set sail for England's coast. A sly, devious crew planned invasion of the most malicious kind. The plan was to execute the Queen herself and those loyal to her. The Queen was well aware of such plans, for they were hardly original or well thought through. She had at intervals along the coast posted scouts to warn of potential threats. The Saxton scout spied such a craft making its way around the headland one moonless stormy night. He was hidden well behind the town's beacon up on the coastal road. The scout knew his task was obvious, for he knew he must extinguish the beacon's flames that battled against the ferocious wind. The ship approached as the weather worsened. It became obvious to all that the ship would be lost to Saxton's patriotic rocks. This happened swiftly in a great event not to be forgotten. Many men drowned there and then. Many men drowned there and then, but many survived to climb the cliffs. The people of Saxton gathered stones, timber and dung, and threw the missiles with all their might. The poor souls beneath stood no chance and plummeted to the jagged razor-like rocks below, to be cut to ribbons in seconds. Upon hearing this historical tale, Spivey and those within the Bear knew what they had seen that night. The ghostly form of the invading ship had attempted to reach its goal once more. Saxton had, once more, performed its loyal duty. Many believe that Saxton and much of Anglia is still protected from invasion by the Anglo-Saxon crowns. One is known to have been lost to the sea at Alcombe some centuries ago. The other was reduced to molten metal after the Norman invasion of 1066. The last crown, believed to be the helm of a fine Anglo-Saxon ruler, is thought, rather fancifully, to remain concealed deep in the ancient landscape. Superstition tells that Anglia and England itself will fall if the last crown is discovered and removed. So that's the 3 ghost stories that we are given access to. So the first one describes a maiden on the road who wears flowers in her hair. The second one, not necessarily one that still applies, well, yet applies to our story. The first one definitely applies, as does the third, as the captain who participated in the smuggling with Gruel was indeed a Captain Spivey. So that is all very interesting, and this is where we're going to leave this episode actually, since we're almost at the hour mark. So please join me on Halloween next Monday, as I will be, in addition to the customary Monday episode, we'll be doing a stream of the Halloween adventure of the Lost Crown. A little bit of a teaser while we wait for the Last Crown Blackenrock to come out, and it's a nice short thematic adventure, so I will be streaming that at some point during the day as well. However, this is the end for this episode, so thank you for joining me, and for now, goodbye.